Let me see. So, when we last left off, um, what had we done? Y'all had escaped the dragon's lair, having uh, stolen at least a few things, including a red dragon scale. You had camped out the night to recover from your fight in the dome, like you often do out in the wilds. And while doing so, had gone through the spoils of your fight. Many of you getting some fairly nice items. Right after which you had had an interesting encounter with some type of person who had come into the dome, said that they were actually on another plane of existence and wanted your help possibly bringing them back, and said that you had gained their attention through some of your exploits. Of course, at some point they had just disappeared. And making your way back into Vasselheim over the next few days, you came back to the Slayer's Take, once again into more hospitable accommodations in the nice, pleasant suite of rooms that you are provided with here. And you had managed to use one of the magical items, which seems like it might have a soul trapped inside it, perhaps, but nonetheless, it is a powerful item, and it was able to, when inserted into the automaton that you had bought, managed to get it up and running. So the metal child, sans one arm, is up and going. And I think that's around where we left off. Y'all were trying to figure out where you were going to go. So, where are you going to go?
I need to go down to the armory and see if they'll sell me a bunch of bullets for my gun. Because it won't do me any good without bullets.
I mean, this is true.
Make a fine club. I would like to go to like a jeweler's shop and just see if I can find some gold wire or something. Add a little personal touches to the metal child.
Oh, okay. Anyone else like to do anything? At some point, we're going to have to figure out where you're going next, but we have some things to take care of, it sounds like.
Yeah, so after y'all do that, we're going to find the black dragon that you know about. Right? I think somebody knows about a black dragon.
Yes, I do know about the black dragon.
That's next step.
But the will of the party, whatever you all want to do, I will go along with it.
All right. Cool. Well, going forward then, Margaret, or Roland rather. Heading downstairs out of the suite and into the armory section. Oh gosh, I'm gonna remember a name here. Yeah, you come back down and see the young dwarf woman that you had previously met, named Emmy, who greets you and says, "Oh yes, what will we have doing for you today then? You all got back quicker than we thought. Did you defeat the dragon?"
Well, he won't be bothering anyone for a while.
That's good to hear. What can I do for you this morning?
One of the things we got from the dragon was a sniper's rifle, and I need to buy 50 bullets if you have them, please.
Oh, 50. Do you mind if I see it? Different weapons tend to take different cartridges. I might be able to tell which one this needs.
Okay, so I'll give it to her.
All right. As she takes it from you, she looks at it and kind of gives you a nod like, "Ooh, this is nice." Flips it over. Kind of, it seems, cracks the barrel almost, and right where the barrel ends into the stock, it seems that it was hinged. This isn't necessarily exactly a musket like the ones you've seen before. It's a little bit more advanced, a little bit fancier. And as she looks down into it, she gets out a pair of calipers, just some small ones from the side, and actually measures the diameter of the barrel. And seems to be kind of muttering to herself, like, "Well, if we carry the one, and yes, I think we could have some that we could do in here. How many are you needing?"
I want about 50, please.
50.
Because I know they come in.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me see that. Once again, doing some math in her head. It's going to be about 15 gold for that.
No problem.
All right. And as she hands you over several fairly well-built wooden heavy boxes. 2 of them, and kind of slams them down on the counter along with the gun. She takes you through a little bit of showing you how to use the breech load mechanism, and as it has a rotating cylinder behind the barrel, how to load each one, and rotate and load and rotate and load, and you get with what she shows of you get the idea that you can do pretty well with this.
Okay.
There is one thing I want to bring your attention to on your gun, and that is an extra roll you're going to have to do every time that you shoot it.
Okay.
All right. Oh gosh, I gotta try to find this. Now, firearms in this world being only a couple decades old since their invention, they've come a long way since then, but it's still a technology that's not maybe as precise as we're used to it in our world. So... Oh gosh, I gotta find this. One sec. Alright. So, basically, every time that you roll to hit, I'm going to have you roll an extra d20. If that d20 comes in lower than your misfire score, which is 3, the weapon misfires, and you'll have to clear it before you can fire again.
All right. How many shots do I get per time?
So it has 4 cylinders behind the barrel. So it can fire 4 times before you have to reload. Each time you fire.
Okay.
Each time you fire takes 1 action.
Okay.
And then once you're out of those 4 shots, you have to reload, which takes 1 action.
Okay.
Yes.
It will be fun.
It will be fun. We'll get into it at some point, and we'll get it. It's a nice little weapon, and it's fun, and it's got that fun thing that can make it go very, very far. So, yes. All right. So, having found some of your ammunition, I'm going to go over to Zippel. Going out into the street, what is it you say you wanted to find?
Yeah, he just wants to go to like a jeweler's store and find maybe some rubies and some gold wiring and just like pretty up, just stuff to like decorate the metal child with.
Okay. Easy enough done. So, make an investigation check as you come out into the street.
I got a nat 20.
Okay. Well, what's the total?
20.
Okay. So, coming out into the street, at the moment, it's after sundown, although that's not necessarily very late here in the northern latitudes during the winter. And it's fairly busy in the street, if cold, especially for your kind. And as you huddle both coats that you're wearing close around you, you're fairly quickly able, within this district here, as there is quite a bit of commerce going on and things like that, to find a nice little, it looks like a goldsmith shop. There's several nice pieces of jewelry in the window and a couple even cups and things like that. And as you walk in, it's pleasantly warm, and you're greeted by a gnome with spectacles on, one in front of which is a second and third lens, it looks like, to kind of zoom in on things. And as they look up at you, their left eye kind of comically exaggerated through their lenses, they say, "Yes, what can I do for you today?"
Greetings in the name of Pelor, the sun god. I am his servant, and you should be also. Here are some pamphlets, and I would like to please be buying one roll of the gold wire mesh and some rubies, please. Maybe a half dozen.
A half dozen rubies, you say? I mean, we could probably do that, but it's.
Please to remember, this is for the benefit of the sun god.
Oh, and indeed, I know much about the sun god. You see.
Do you?
Well,
do you worship the sun god also?
The gold I work with, it is rumored in the past that he imbued this element with some of his power years ago, and it is how it got its sheen. While I have not been a how do you say, worshiper of the sun god in the past, I know much about him, and thank you for the pamphlet. And they kind of tuck it in behind. It looks like they have a kind of work belt around. But gold wire. How much are you going to need?
What is a spool length?
Well, I mean, a spool. I mean, spools are quite a length. We generally sell it by the weight, not the length necessarily. How fine are you looking for?
Well, it is for an offspring to celebrate a new awareness of the sun god.
Oh, it's a celebratory kind of. You going to be using this as as an accent for something?
Going to hammer it into their skins.
He just kind of seems to be choking on any words he might have had.
It is for the metal child.
Metal child. I see. And just kind of nods with. You can tell by the look on their face that they don't see. And just once again starts kind of starting and stopping many times without being able to speak. Make a persuasion check real quick.
An 11.
Okay. They look over at kind of at the door and look around and say, "Well, I suppose you're not going to hurt them, are you?"
No, they are fairly. Oh, that's a good. No, I don't think so. But when I get back, I will ask. And obviously, if it is something where it may cost the metal child pain, I would not want that, and I will return at full price value, I assume.
Oh, well, we could probably do something like that. I would never want to put a customer out. Return customers are a good percentage of our business. But a whole spool, as they reach kind of in back and they kind of shuffle over, they bring out a spool that's probably, as they kind of heave it up onto the counter, it's probably a foot wide of pure gold wire, and it's full.
Ah.
And as they strain to bring it up, I mean, they are gnome, but at the same time, this is gold. This is let me say, 100 yards. Will that do?
I thought to be thinking of the thread spool. I apologize.
Well, and it is. It's a
No, but
it's-
like
it's
a
just-
one that you could put in a pocket.
yes. Sorry about that. You see,
That is
we
my fault.
we work in large quantities here.
Yes.
We do a lot of gold work, but perhaps maybe several yards of it then.
Okay.
Okay, we could do maybe 10 yards for, let us say, we'll call it 5 platinum. Nope.
Okay.
Okay, that will work.
Also, the rubies.
Rubies. How large a ruby are you looking for?
Thumbnail.
Well, okay. That is a.
Or your thumbnail would also work. Mine are a little bigger than yours.
As you put your thumbnail up, with the claw kind of sticking off of it, he kind of jumps back a little bit, but it's like, indeed. Mine are smaller, as you can see. His little gnome hands are fairly rough looking from the look of them. Like in parts, there's like scarring along some of the fingertips and outsides of the finger here, presumably from working with hot metal. We don't really carry a lot of jewels here at this location, but there are several on the street you could probably find. Shops, I mean.
Okay, not just gems out in the street. I would have noticed.
Not that I know of. In any case, they quickly measure out the 10 yards of gold.
Do
And
you
yes,
have any books on your craft laying spare, surplus to need? I have a very inquisitive friend.
of goldsmithing.
Or any metallurgical works.
Well, I mean, look, I have several of my own personal books. I'm not sure if I'm willing to part with them.
Surely you don't need them anymore. You are a seasoned professional.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm not. Well, let me see. And kind of scurrying over to one wall, you see that there is a small bookshelf behind the counter, the front counter here, where there's several old, tattered-looking tomes of varying sizes. And looking at them, they kind of look and say, and grab one and then another, and bring them over. And I suppose I might be able to part with these. This one specifically, holding up a book, it looks like it's bound in this kind of greenish leather, is for beginning metallurgy. It's fairly useful, although not so much to me anymore, although I occasionally go back for certain techniques and things that I don't always use, but I could part with it if you really... Are you really interested in this?
I have a very inquisitive friend who has taken an interest to metallurgy, and they are a book reader of all kinds, and I mean to make it a gift.
Oh, yes, of course. Since it is for a friend, and a fellow inquisitive person, I suppose, I could maybe 5 gold.
This is acceptable to me.
All right. We do gift wrapping if you'd like.
Yes, please.
We will for free, of course. And they very expertly, quickly, with a fairly nice looking printed paper. It looks like it's brown paper with these little kind of chalices that have been stamped on it in kind of a random pattern. folds it up, ties a ribbon around it, and hands it to you, along with a small spool with the gold thread kind of that he had measured out, kind of wrapped up, and says, "Well, I thank you. And what was your name?"
My name is Zipil. I am born of the noble fire. And who are you?
Oh my. Anton. My name's Anton. It's good to meet you. Well,
Zipil puts his hand on the top of the gnome's head, and the blessings of the sun god are upon you, little one. You are very wise.
and putting your clawed hand over their small head. Their hand still over your hand still on their head. They say, they kind of nod a little bit and say, "Thank you." All right.
He will guide your hands now.
Thank you. But please check in with Ruben down the street if you're looking for maybe some gems. He may be able to do something.
Okay. His name is Ruben. Does he worship the sun god?
Not that I know.
Okay, just you then. Okay, well, I will see you later.
Fine then. Walking down the street, you're fairly easily able to find Ruben's shop. It's a more of a jewelry kind of shop, and definitely specializes in gem cutting and setting. Walking in, you see another gnome. This one older, quite a bit older, kind of with these jowls and loose skin that kind of hangs down. And as you walk up, he says, "Yes, how's your day going?"
May the blessings of the sun god be upon you.
Oh,
My name is Zipil. I am born of the noble fire. I am here to gather something I would need several rupees to make a offering to the sun god, and the little one down the street, Anton, told me it was to be you.
Anton sent you over, did he? All right. That's fine. How many rubies are we looking for?
5, please, the size of your thumbnails.
My thumbnails. He looks down. All right. Are you wanting any special cut? Are you wanting round, square? What are we looking for?
Round as the sun is round.
Right. Okay. Let me see what I have. And he walks kind of over towards the other end of the counter, pulls out a little tray, starts kind of looking through a little bit, picks one here and one there and one there, and eventually comes back with 5, not huge, but, noticeable kind of rubies. And says, "Is that all? Would you like them set in anything, or?"
I'm going to set them in the child's chest.
Oh, you know what? I don't want to know. In any case, this is going to be 20 gold.
Okay, here you go. And here's a pamphlet on the sun god. You need some light in your life, maybe things.
Yes, thank you. He throws it over to the side, and you see that it lands on a pile of what looks like other pamphlets, some of which have iconography you kind of recognize from other prime deities. Others that you're not even sure about. They're just there's one with a hand with an eye in it, which you're not even sure where that comes from. But just yeah, it seems like you're not the first.
Okay. Please, will you wrap them up, please, and I will get out of your way then.
Of course. He wraps them up very quickly and kind of in a small paper sack, and then cinches the top with a little bit of twine, hands them over to you.
Okay. Well, here's the money.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Not quite as nice as Anton, but coming back to the Slayer's take, you meet the rest of everyone back in the room, and what are we all gonna do?
I'm going to start by giving the one with the books, whose name escapes me, his book.
Are you talking about Chomp?
It's Chomp the Reader.
I mean, there's
I've read many books, like pretty much all the books.
Then yes, I'm going to give you these. These are for you.
Ooh, books.
It is on metalworking. I thought it may be of interest to you.
and he, as you open it, Chomp, you find a book that on the cover, which is in kind of greenish leather. It's embossed on it, Dummy's Guide to Goldsmithing.
I see.
The fellow did not really seem to want to part with it.
Well, it's is this your way of trying to help me build your metal child a new arm?
Why does he need a new arm? He has an arm that is already fine. He was back. It was just to be nice.
Oh well, yeah, that's definitely going to be helpful.
All right. So, about this time, as you are slowly kind of trying to figure out how to get gold wire mounted on and put onto your automaton, you hear a knock at your door to the suite here.
Is anyone expecting company?
You are the only warm bloods I know, so it is not me.
I call out. Who is it?
All right. You hear a familiar-ish voice that you've heard before, that of Vanessa, saying, "Yes, may I come in? I have some questions about your contract."
Crom, I think it's for you.
Oh, okay.
And as you say,
I'll answer it.
all right. As you open the door, you see the same tiefling you had seen before, kind of dressed in, this time in some nice leather breeches, with a fairly fancy-looking fur-lined coat on. Not a cloak, but like a coat with a fur-lined collar and sleeves that are a little short. Leather gloves on her hands, and she's, "May I come in?"
Come on in. You're not doing anything secret. We're good.
Oh, that's all right. And as she comes in, the rest of you see her, and she kind of comes over to near the fire, looks in at the flames for a sec, and then turns back to the five of you and says, how to say this? We have had reports that the dragon that you had taken a contract for has been reported raiding more villages northwest of the city. And we are wondering, what happened?
See, what had happened was, he did it, and I pointed Chomp.
I did what?
You almost killed the dragon.
I mean, I think we did what we set out to do.
We almost did it.
We went there.
Yeah,
We need more hit points is the thing.
dragons is hard.
Yeah, was there an expiration on this contract that we had to do it in some time?
Well, no.
Is this the first time the village has been raided?
Well, it's not so much raided as just wiped out, so no. But, you see, we were under the impression that you had gone out to deal with the dragon and that you would come back. I believe, Emmy, the keeper of our armory downstairs, had said that you had... One of you had said, I believe you, and she points to Roland, had said that you had taken care of it.
No, that is not what I said. I said the dragon would not be bothering you anytime in the near future.
Well, that's, I can see that while true, that is not exactly what one might call honest.
It was not dishonest.
True, and you are right. There was no time limit on the contract. It's just some of our staff had been led to believe it had been taken care of. I apologize, and I assume that at some point you will deal with it.
Now I don't know that I want to.
Well, you have taken the contract. I'm afraid that if you
We
refuse,
give it back to you.
you took the contract. As part of the Slayer's take and the guild here, if you take a contract, you have to complete it. To refuse a contract you have already taken means to be expelled from the guild. I'm sorry, Bueller? And as she kind of crosses her arms in front of her, as you all kind of fall silent, I'm just trying to be clear here. As long as you eventually bring us a vital part of that dragon, say the heart or the head, maybe, you are part of the guild. Just please don't tell me you're going to try to refuse the contract now that you've already taken it.
Definitely not.
Yeah, we wouldn't dream of doing that.
Oh, that's good to hear. And she kind of relaxes a little bit and says, it would be a shame. It would definitely be a shame if we had to exclude you. And she kind of gives a wink at Crom. But anyway, just wanted to clarify. I will be leaving now. I assume you have things to do. And she kind of looks over at where the metal child is kind of on the table, looking at her as you're halfway through putting this gold trim and rubies on it, and there's kind of this gold thread just hanging off in every direction. And all right, well, I'll see you later then. And she leaves.
Okay, so when she leaves, I'm gonna look around at everybody and say, do you guys think we should go take care of that red dragon first?
We need a better plan than what we have when we went in there.
Yeah.
And we're going to be starting from square one.
Well, this time we also, the first time around, we won't be worried about getting a scale or, I don't know, maybe it'll be
just a heart or something, she said.
Well, maybe we can get it outside of its lair when it's like attacking a village.
And also, I don't know about you guys, but I feel just like slightly stronger than last time we went up against the dragon.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm one better than I was last time.
Yeah, I have a few more points.
Like if I was at a 9 last time, I feel like I'm at like a 10 now.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably because you rested, but. So we need to think of a plan that it would seem.
Well, I mean, you got lots of ways you can go. As Vanessa said, you don't have to immediately do this as long as it's done eventually.
You know, I'd like to point out that if we go after the Black Dragon, we'll be leaving Vasselheim anyways. So what does it matter if we leave Vasselheim and get out of this contract? We're not coming back to the Slayers Guild.
Well, they may have influence beyond Vasselheim.
Yeah, and they're kind of how we were able to get the connection to Ione.
Very true.
And eventually we may be able to kill the dragon, and that will be fun.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So we can pause it for now and come back to it.
But now we would just be going to go up against a different dragon.
Yeah, but we won't have to kill it. Just get its scale.
Yeah.
There is no hasty promise attached to this dragon, though it is a little farther off.
Well,
All right. Well,
So yeah, I guess we can go check out go try to get this black dragon scale, and then maybe after that circle back around and take care of the red dragon.
yeah. Do you have a way to teleport us back here, or?
I don't. Well,
Did we say there might be a teleportation?
there might be a permanent teleportation circle somewhere with the cobalt vault, or the
Well, yeah.
the Cobalt Soul.
the cobalt consortium.
Oh, have we? Are they still not? They don't like us, right?
I don't think we're not.
But we are better now because, wait, what did they say was wrong with us?
Oh, we needed to have like official like, I don't know, papers or like a recommendation or an invitation there.
Yeah, and that's one thing that oh gosh, Osissa, the Sphinx, had said you would be provided with.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was trying to remember who said something to us about it when we went to the thing. Through the Slayers thing, they let us in their special.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we have that.
Yeah. So now that we are in the Slayers take the guild.
Do you have to see the teleportation thing to like use it, or?
No, I just need to know. I don't have to see it technically. I just need to know the sequence of sigils and runes, like an address.
Okay.
Okay. So, what would you like to do right now then?
I guess if our plan is to go far off to do something else, like this black dragon thing,
And then
is
come
that-
back. It would be helpful to be able to.
yeah, I guess if that's what we're doing, then we everybody prepare for the journey, and
What?
everybody pack your stuff, and I need to go get the email address of the Cobalt Soul.
All
Okay.
right.
Do we have any idea of the power level of the Black Dragon compared to what we just dealt with?
Zippel, you're the expert on dragon. This dragon here.
He is a dread dragon. My wife is laughing at me.
I mean, you have a great accent, so.
Yeah. The towns and the surrounding countryside lived in terror of him, obviously. I do not know that he is smaller than the red dragon. Perhaps a little crueler, being that is the black dragon's nature. I don't know that we would be able to catch it unawares as we did slightly with the red dragon.
Yeah. And Cirthus, just from some things that Zippel has said about this dragon, as well as the notes that you had taken from the Compendium of Chromatic Dragons that you had previously found way back when, you're kind of identified this as a dragon that was known as Isar, the Midnight Terror, who lived a while back in the Dreamseep marshlands and was thought to be around 300 years old. So an adult, but not an ancient black dragon by any means.
Can I relay this to everybody?
What do you know about black dragons? Like, you know how red ones, they have the fire thing. What does black dragons do? Do they have an element or a weakness?
I mean, one of you might know. Who wants to roll a nature check to see if they remember?
I'll do it.
Go for it.
It's a 16 plus 4, so it's a 20.
A 20. So black dragons, and mostly what you know about black dragons is specifically from this one, but you've heard enough stories to get some good idea of kind of the nature of a black dragon. You know that they spit acid, kind of in a line in front of them, which has corrosive properties and hurts a lot. You know that they're semi-aquatic and can even breathe underwater. They prefer swamps and things like that, places that are very moist and often with very murky and sometimes even brackish water, depending on how close to the coast they are. They are not as likely as some other dragons to work in concert with other dragons, but they're an interesting dragon in that of the chromatic dragons, they are most likely to be okay with silver dragons, one of the metallic dragons, one of the good dragons, as they say. Just from different yarns and things handed down from your growing up in the Dreamseep marshlands, you remember some of this. But yeah.
Also, may I ask something?
Yes.
Not to you,
Oh, okay.
if you are going to the Cobalt Soul, if you have a minute, maybe look in and see if there is any book on Azatar Kaiwan. Possibly.
Sure, let me write that down. Azatar Chiron.
The ghost.
Yeah.
The Trixie one.
All right.
I have an idea, but it's not great because it's barely an idea. Is there any way, if anybody, just let's try to think, maybe we could pit the two dragons against each other, and then when they're weakened, strike.
That's pretty.
Not sure how to make it happen.
Yeah, that.
It sounds complicated.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I don't know how to do it.
Aren't they very far apart?
Yes.
There is that.
Yeah, but they're dragons. I don't know if distance matters as much to them as it would be for us. But I don't know. I just don't want my face melted off.
That's fair.
He would do it too. He's that kind of a dragon.
All right. Well, in any case, we have Chomp. You were wanting to go to the Cobalt Vault.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody want to go with him, or are the rest of you going to just be packing up and getting ready to go?
I'll go with him. Well, they will let me. Yeah, they'll let me.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay here, finish putting sun patterns on the metal child, and if there's, I'd like to leave some gold wire just for later.
Okay. I mean, with what you have, you could definitely do that. I mean, depending on how ornate you want to get with your decorations, but you could definitely have a yard or two left over. And by the way, make a, gosh, what's the skill check here?
For what, homie?
For decorating the metal child.
That wouldn't fall under that artisanal.
That's right.
Nuts.
I always forget about that, yeah.
I'm making as much use of that as I can think of.
So you're real good at it, and yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. For the next thing, though, Chomp and Crom. Anybody else want to go with them? The Cobalt Vault, for anybody who doesn't remember, is a great archive and library in Vasselheim that's run by the Cobalt Soul, who kind of follow Ioun, not totally, but she's kind of their matron, as it were. But they're monks who are worldwide tasked with finding information and archiving it. So, would anybody else like to go?
Yes.
All right. Okay, and Roland, I'm guessing you might stay behind and help with the decoration of the metal child?
I'll stay behind.
Okay. So the three of you then, heading to the Cobalt Vault. Oh gosh. Let me go in here real quick. Alright, heading north from the Quadroads district, along, and we're going to say you did this the next day, because it was getting pretty late. So after a good night's sleep, the rest of the party staying behind, the three of you move through the Quadroads, through several of the ringed walls of this city, and into the Silver Talon's Reach district. This is the district that's mostly centered around the Platinum Dragon, but certain other deities like Ioun and a couple other maybe small ones here or there have at least offices here. The Cobalt Vault itself, a huge block of a building with, it seems like, only the single entrance guarded by two monks in their gray and blue robes. Once again, they challenge you as you come up, saying, "What business have you here?" You have, of course, been given, Chomp, a letter from the Slayer's Take.
Yes, I guess I just hand them the letter. Don't we have a? Do we have like a brand of Ioun on us now? A new tattoo?
You do actually. Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of show them that and hand them the letter.
Okay. So yeah, showing the inside of your bicep with the oval face with the three eyes, and showing them the letter, they kind of glance at each other. The one kind of gestures the other over, and they kind of whisper to each other, looking at the letter. Um, they fold it up carefully, hand it back to you, and say, "Yes, of course, please." And they gesture inward as the doors, the double metal doors of this huge building, start to open. Walking in, you're immediately met by another monk. This one in slightly more flowing robes, not the same kind of utilitarian robes that the guards outside had, but a little bit longer. With the with a small silver brooch holding everything together in front, with once more that the same as your tattoos, that kind of symbol of the face with the three eyes. And she says, as she comes up, "Yes, I am Mithild. I am an expositor here in the Cobalt Vault. I hear you have been sent from the Slayer's Take. What can we do for you today?"
Well, we need. Yes, we need to gather some information to help us on our business with our quests from Ioun, business from the Slayer's Take. Let's see. First of all, your teleportation department. Might there be might might there be a department of teleportation? Might there be a teleportation circle at this location?
Okay. As you ask this, she narrows her eyes at you and says, "Well, you see, arcane magic is frowned upon here in Vasselheim, and as such, there is no teleportation circle within
Son of a
the
bitch!
city."
Use your fist. Son of a bitch!
It's okay, Crom.
And she kind of, her eyes kind of shift back and forth between the two of you as you're saying that. But
I thought there was more here.
you have to understand, we have to obey the laws of the city, and we try not to anger anyone, as there are many divine sects here that will not allow us to do this.
Uh-oh.
We lost Margaret. I'm sure she'll be back.
While this is going on, I'm just gonna do service thoughts, but detect thoughts or whatever it is.
Okay.
Trying to,
Are you on the monk in front of you?
yeah, and then I don't know if I can use that combined with insight. I'm gonna try to see if they're telling the truth or not.
Okay. So detect thoughts. You're just going for the surface.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to tip them off.
Let me look that up real quick. Because I don't.
Yeah, it's.
So I know there's two different levels to it, kind of. Okay. So most on its mind at the moment is what you get from just that surface. Okay. Most on this monk's mind at the moment is that she seems very, very annoyed with the group of you.
All right.
And you said you want to do an insight check at the same time?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
13.
13. I mean, you get you get that same sense just from the inside check. Maybe your read on her is being colored by the detect thoughts that you did, but she just seems a little annoyed with you, with the conversation.
Alrighty.
But then she says, "Oh, well, is there anything else I can help you all with?"
Yeah. So when she says that stuff about the arcane magic, I kind of like put my hand up and nod my head and like in sort of a yeah, it's okay, I understand. I'm not trying to like cause any trouble here. So then I guess I want to take a look at some of your tomes of
Non-arcaneness.
yeah, I guess I need maybe some historical texts. What did we find out about that Ascitar Chiron before? Like what?
You hadn't
Okay,
really,
well,
you hadn't found out anything about him. You had found out some other things about a different ancient mage that had been the one that it turned out had created the metal child.
yeah.
Who is this?
That's the ghost person or the right?
Azatar Kaiwan was the kind of spectral, like astral projection that had met you. Yeah.
Didn't Crom ask Ioun about him too? So we found out some stuff.
Yeah, Crom. Yeah, that's right.
They're evil. They're evil, but we should probably do whatever. I think. Oh wait.
So
They're evil, but yeah, whatever.
that's right. They are evil, or they have evil intent, but there will be good or evil, no matter which way you choose to go helping them. Was what you were told. Hey, Margaret.
I just didn't mean to fall out. I just kind of did.
It happens. Okay, so as you mentioned, wanting to look up, a few things, and Azatar Kaiwan, she kind of gestures, and another monk in slightly different robes comes over. This one with a shaved head, and she says, "The acolyte here will take your request and start searching. Is there anything else you would like to find?"
I keep reminding myself that that they're not big on the arcane magic, so I need to think about.
Well, they're not good at practicing arcane magic here. That doesn't necessarily mean they don't have information on it.
That's true. That's true. What is others?
But you can look up like spell.
Yeah. I don't know what spells I would. Yeah. So,
Spell section, please.
yes.
Spell department.
The books on magic spells.
How to spell?
Yes, spelling books.
Spelling books, yes. Okay, so she nods and says, "Well, we do have some of those. If you could please follow me." And as she starts to walk down the hallway, you see as you go through, they're pretty good-sized hallways, about 15 feet tall, arched, with other hallways that break into them at different odd angles, sometimes at right angles. Sometimes you see they go off into rooms that seem to be just filled with scrolls or books or reading tables. This place seems to have several at least several, more than several, dozens of different libraries about different things. Sometimes you pass some of these archways and they're just closed doors, sometimes with something written or symbols on them, other times not. Cirthus, as you engage your Eldritch sight, and kind of the kind of tentacles of blackness come over your vision a little bit, and as they come away, everything kind of has a slightly blue sheen to it. At least several of the doors you pass have magical auras kind of coming off of them, usually abjuration. Although one you see with a single symbol of Ioun on it, glowing fairly brightly, has... Oh, let me see something. The one with the large symbol of Ioun on it has a fairly strong presence behind it of conjuration, which is strange considering what they told you about arcane magic here.
Okay, I'll mentally relay that to everyone else.
Okay.
So I tap the acolyte on the shoulder as we walk by and say, what's that section? And I point to the door or the archway that Cirthus just indicated.
All right. The acolyte that's leading you now, which is not the same expositor that had originally welcomed you in here. This acolyte is smaller and a little bit meeker. Says, well, we don't go into that room much. I'm not exactly sure. It's not really something you need to worry about, I'm sure.
No.
Oh, just curious. But if you don't know, I mean, if you're not,
We need to go in there. No, wait, are we not saying that?
No, I mean, I'm just wanting to know what it is at first. But if you don't know, maybe we can find someone more knowledgeable later and ask them.
Oof. Make a persuasion check.
Maybe.
Control planes.
Not yet. Let's see. Ooh, persuasion. That's going to be... Oh, that's a 0.
They kind of give you a panicked look and said, no, it wouldn't matter. Anyway, I only just started. We need to keep going. Come on then.
I turn around to Cirthus and just kind of give him a shrug like, oh.
All right. Moving on your way, you eventually come to a right-hand crossing where the acolyte leads you through off to the right into this fairly good-sized room with these high, like 50-foot arching, kind of flying buttress looking curved beams going up, and several different levels of books along with stacks in the middle, and says, this is our arcane repository, where we try to store every spell we've ever found, actually. There are several sections that, of course, are off limits and are only stored for posterity, but is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Let's see. Well, I think Cirthus, you'd probably want to check out some ritual spells or some sorcerer warlock biz. Let's see. Yeah, maybe some low level spells, something that might not take too long to copy into my book.
All right.
Beginner spells, novice magic.
We can definitely do that. I mean, are you looking for a very, very beginner, or maybe, a level above that, or?
Well, I don't know how long we really want to spend here. I know it would take me a few hours to really study up on any of this stuff.
I mean,
Or
there's bedazzling going on at the other place, so I think we got some time.
yeah.
How dare you?
How did you hear that?
Oh, do you have your ring turned on? You get to turn that.
On.
All right. I mean, there's several different things. One might call a first level of wizard spells that you might look at.
Oh, that's great terminology. Yeah, that would work.
Maybe something like mage armor or thunder wave.
Oh yeah.
Expeditious retreat. That's always a fun one.
How about yeah, what is it? Yeah, I don't think I know mage armor.
All right.
Yeah, I think mage armor might be a good one to study up on.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Yeah, in the time that you have here, I definitely think you could do at least one spell. You're not going to get a long time here, as they seem to be a little bit still kind of rushed and annoyed with you, but they're still, abiding by the fact that you had an invitation. So, Cirthus, is there anything you want to look at while you're here?
I'm not sure. Definitely am interested in like ritual spells, but we did some research already on. Did we research on just one type of dragon or multiple type of dragons?
You had done research on, I believe, red dragons specifically, while you were around. I don't know if you've yet done specifically. Yeah, you have not yet specifically searched about black dragons. So.
I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay. All right. So they take you to for that just slightly over and up the hallway to a similar but slightly smaller room where they have quite a bit of information on different monstrosities and aberrations throughout the known world. Go ahead and roll an investigation check at advantage, since you have basically a library assistant with you.
Glad I had that advantage. Let's see. $27.
27. All right. I mean, is there anything specific that you want to know about black dragons? Or are you just looking for an overview? Or because with the 27, you find some good information. It just depends on what you're looking for.
Obviously, like its abilities, known abilities, any weaknesses.
Okay.
Any way to piss it off at a red dragon? Those kind of things.
All right. Let me see here real quick. Well, you do know from just some of your reading about different black dragons, they tend to be very territorial, more so in some ways than most other dragons, which is something. They are the most solitary of dragons, which once again is something for dragons, because most are fairly solitary. Black dragons, you will rarely find them with other black dragons, much less other dragons whatsoever. The only time they will live together is when there are very dangerous elements around, especially deadly environments and things like that. Of course, you read about their acid and the fact that they like the very kind of most rotten, decomposing parts of the wettest swampland that they can find. They will occasionally live in large forests and things like that, but only more in jungle areas. Their lairs often have two different entrances. One will be almost always be underwater. The other will be somehow kind of hidden away amongst vegetation and things like that. They are the most absent of dragon parents, and most likely to abandon their eggs if threatened, although they will still seek revenge. And yeah, they have some of the, well, let me see here. I don't know, there's a lot of information. Things like the more ancient and older a black dragon, the lighter its black scales will get. The most ancient of black dragons are almost kind of purplish. And often, because of the acidic nature of their bile and some of their insides, as they get older, sometimes that will start almost burning parts of their insides and flesh and start coming out, stuff like that. There's some descriptions of ancient black dragons that are truly kind of horrifying. Yeah. There's, like I said, unless there's something specific.
Okay. So as a player with that kind of role, could I like read up myself? Would that be allowed, or?
I would say probably, yeah.
Okay.
Anything about specific dragons is going to be, that you find is going to have to be, if there's a specific dragon you're going to read about that's a black dragon, it would have to be one in Exandria. But if it's general knowledge about black dragons, you probably have just about all of it, except for very, very specifics about this specific dragon itself.
Gotcha.
As you haven't heard much mention of this one.
Do we know the name of the red dragon?
You never got a line on the name of the red dragon,
Okay.
and you were not aware of any, because looking back on your fight and then reading about dragons right now, you're aware that that was an ancient red dragon, quite ancient by the size of it. Make an intelligence check real quick. Just straight up intelligence.
That's 10.
Okay. Yeah, you're not exactly sure who that dragon might have been, or what named dragon that might have been, as you only have an acknowledged kind of limited list of known dragons. there are many more out there. Sometimes they're only regionally known, things like that. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. In the meantime, you are able to learn mage armor, Chomp.
Yeah.
And then a few hours later, heading back as the Cobalt Soul have
Anyone?
kind of gotten.
Well,
Yeah. What was there anything you
on
wanted
the
to look
way
at?
out, can we that room, the conjuration room, is that off limits? Because he didn't say no, but he said don't worry about it.
Well, are you asking if it's off limits?
All right.
I'm gonna ask him. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Asking the dude, and like we kind of need that because no, my dog. Hold on.
Oh,
Go ahead,
no.
Jordan.
What are you gonna do? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
There
want to check out that room.
was there any symbols on it?
The one symbol that was on the door, fairly large, was the symbol of Ayun, very simply carved. And you, like I said, you definitely got the sense of my brain's blanking again. Yeah, you definitely got the sense of what's the word I'm looking for? The School of Magic. I totally forgot it again.
Conjuration.
Thank you. That's it. Conjuration. You definitely got the sense of conjuration magic from behind the door. Strong conjuration magic. Although on your way out, as you asked the question, the acolyte once more gets really kind of nervous and is, well, I mean, I don't know that I've ever been told that we can't go in there. I've just been told, well, what I told you, not to not worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all because I don't do magic, so I just want to go in there real quick.
Are you just gonna open the door?
Yep.
Open the door.
I'm gonna open the door.
Okay. Placing a hand on the door. You don't feel anything other than a door. And as you try to push it open, it seems to be locked.
Oh well. Goodbye. I'm just joking. What do you say, wizard?
Well, based on what Surthus has told us, well, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think there's a teleportation circle behind that door.
Me too. Me too.
Some all up in this place.
Please let me in there.
So the acolyte looks increasingly agitated and kind of panicky as you try to push open the door, and then as you kind of accuse them of having magic going behind the door, and they say, "Well, I mean, not why? Who?"
I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna on you. She gave me this sword, and I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna show him my sword.
I think we need to get in there, or I'm going to start being a lot louder about this.
I think he touched my butt.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh.
Vintage, do you have your
Yeah, I do have things.
your eyepiece?
Oh. That's shitty.
You do have advantage on that.
Okay, I got a 9.
A 9. I mean, they seem just to still be. Yeah, they're still kind of panicky, but they're not letting you in at the moment. As you are having your hand on the door, you notice, although it's locked, it seems to jiggle a little bit, like it's not necessarily latched really well.
Okay. Now,
Put your shoulder into it.
I mean, I also, I don't know if I want to frighten them because I did at level 10 get intimidating presence.
What do you have to do with that?
It's a wisdom saving throw, or they're frightened. But I don't know how much help that would be.
I think that would just make it run away.
Okay, I'm gonna kick the door.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait. Are you
Well, no,
gonna
I'm
try to
just-
stop me?
Oh no,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
thinking like, Circus, I hope you got all of the book reading done that you wanted to, because I don't know if we're going to be able to come back here.
You got a few hours of book reading in,
Yeah.
Okay.
just so you know.
I mean, does anybody
I'm gonna
want
like make a. I'm gonna like. Yeah, I'll try to stop you. I'm not gonna stand in front of you, but I'm like, ah.
Yeah, good idea. Does anybody have a better idea of how to get in there?
Well, okay. Mentally, I'm gonna have to communicate this to you, but maybe we could find somebody that can get us back there. If they have a connection to Ioun, and we're on a mission from Gad, this is very if there is one, that'll be very beneficial on our mission.
Yeah.
So if we talk to the right people, maybe.
Could you polymorph? Could you polymorph into like a little bug and then go underneath and then pop out on the other side? Oh, that wouldn't help. Never mind.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that wouldn't. Could you?
I can get up in
Well,
there.
Am I able to do the whole familiar little poof poof on the other side of the door, and then I can see in there?
Maybe. Let me see something.
I'm assuming it would just be like kind of like a few inches to be able to get it on the other side.
I mean, it would, and it's any unoccupied space within range. So you don't have to see the space. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. Tell them don't leave. Whatever.
Okay. All right. As the rest of you are kind of arguing with the acolyte, you see Sirthus's eyes kind of blacken over, and just kind of go dead. Sirthus, you, as Casilda appears, just kind of pops, and like a little owl just kind of pops into existence and kind of hops a little bit before standing still. You see a large round stone room with a glowing circle of runes on the floor.
Okay. Yeah, I communicate that to them
Well-
that we need to talk to somebody because
All we need is the symbols for him to be able to do it, right?
Yeah, and what that would allow us to do, if I copy down those symbols, is at some
Teleport into a locked room.
at some point in the future, we could all end up in this room inside of the vault.
We'll figure that other part out later.
Which the point of being able to teleport back here was for convenience.
No, but let's at least figure it out.
I'm not gonna say no, I don't want those rooms. I mean,
Give us the rooms if you can see them.
yeah, how would that work?
Because you can see, can you draw it for him?
I could try.
Yeah, I would say, oh gosh.
Or just turn into a bug
there's like an
and go look.
80 or 90% success rate in secondhand copying teleportation.
Who says so?
I don't know. I was just throwing it out there for a little chaotic. If we try to teleport back there, there's a chance something goes wrong.
Don't give him ideas.
Oh no, I already had that idea, but thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I mean, you can. I mean, at this point, like the acolyte is starting to like pull on some of your arms. Like, no, we can't. We don't go near the door. I'm sorry. Don't go near. And so you got to decide: are you gonna become a bug real quick, or are you gonna just take Sirthus's description?
Well, since we're here, yeah, I'm going to turn into a little tiny thing and crawl under the door.
Okay. As the rest of
I
you.
guess like a spider, I guess would work.
Okay. As the rest of you watch, well, except for Sirthis, because he can't see anything at the moment because he's in Casilda's mind.
If Casilda tries to eat me, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh shit.
I mean, as you watch, Chomp suddenly just disappears, and Chomp, you scurry under the door. Could you roll a d20 for me real quick?
Sure. Three.
Oh.
Okay. Coming under the door, you are immediately jumped upon by a beak. Quick, that's an 11 to hit. What are you as a spider?
Yeah, let's see.
Do I know he turned into a spider?
I mean, at this moment, you wouldn't have known because you were in Casilda. You didn't see anything happen.
Yeah.
So your armor class is 12.
Okay.
So as you kind of dodge out of the way,
Oh. Shit.
yeah, you get out of the way and you kind of scurry away because you have some movement. You have like 20 feet of movement. Sirthis, you see Casilda as you're kind of viewing through her eyes, just suddenly peck at something on the floor. But just really quick, make an investigation check. See if you can, as a spider, make out the rooms.
This would be very confusing.
Yes, it's very.
Okay. Let's see. Spider. What'd you say? Investigation?
Yeah. So it'll just be a straight roll, really. Well, kind of.
Yeah, that's wisdom.
Yeah.
Damn it. Another 3.
Okay. I mean, you get like a view of it. Like you're not quite used to these like compound spider eyes that are going on, and you think you probably have a good idea of what the runes are.
Cool.
You might want to compare notes with Sirthis later.
Oh yeah, between the two of us, we maybe come up with something workable. Do I see anything else in the room?
No, there's one door in and out of this room. There's, of course, an owl that is frantically looking around the floor for you as you've kind of crawled up onto the wall. And these slightly glowing blue runes in the floor.
How about the door? Is there a lock or a latch on this side, or?
I mean, there is. There's
Yeah.
It's a little mechanism. From this side, it looks like it's just a bolt kind of thing that you could flip.
Right. Okay.
Are you gonna head back out?
Yeah, I guess I will crawl back down the door underneath through a crack or whatever.
Okay. And as Chomp kind of explodes back into view, I'm assuming you're dropping your spider form.
Yeah, I'll turn back into my gnome form and then just say, all right, guys, I guess we can head on out.
All right. As Sirthis' eyes clear once again, you all make your way out of the Cobalt Vault, a slightly frazzled acolyte in tow, who leaves you at the front door saying, "Thank you. That was interesting at the very least." And as somebody runs up, your information about Asatur Kaiwan. We copied down a few things we found. There was not a whole lot to be had, but there was a bit.
Before leaving, I would like to ask them, in case if we ever wanted to see in that room, who would we talk to?
Oh my. Let me see here. It's in my notes somewhere. Curator Udala Fawn would be the one to speak to. She is both High Curator here as well as in Rexingtrum.
Okay, next time then.
Yes, next time. That's a good way to see it. In any case, I bid you farewell. And the doors kind of start to shut as they retreat back into the vault. All right, what are y'all doing?
Well, I think that me and Chomp should immediately start writing down, comparing notes before we forget this.
Yeah. I imagine we both whip out our notebooks at the same time and just like sit down on the ground right there and start doodling, drawing them out.
All right. Let me see something.
Sort of collaborating on which room was which and how they looked. I rolled very low.
On your memory?
All right. Let me see here. Okay. So, could you both make a general intelligence check? Or one of you can roll at advantage. It's up to you.
You can roll at advantage.
Okay. General intelligence.
General intelligence.
Y'all, that was weird. Y'all did that at the same time.
Well, really?
Yeah. Saluted. I was like,
It's a great joke.
it is.
What's that?
Again. Okay, wait, but I rolled with advantage. There we go.
Okay. So
21.
Okay. You, between the two of you, kind of sketching out and you kind of drawing out what you thought, and then Sirth's coming over being like, well, no, it was more like this, and you got to switch this one and this one. You come up with something that you're fairly certain is the correct rune layout for finding the Cobalt Vault here. So, yeah. All right. Moving back. Yep.
I'm gonna say this. We might mess up, and this might be our introduction to like plane hopping.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be interesting.
I mean, you don't know if you'll have to use it. Okay.
Yeah, it was just sort of a. Maybe we should use it to get back here if we end up far away, but we'll see.
All right. Okay, so going back.
I guess we're heading back. Yeah, heading back there.
Yeah. So as you get back into the room, into your suite, into the main kind of common room in there, you find Zippo putting the finishing touches on the bedazzling.
And Roland, that is how you do you broil a kobold, I hear. Though I would prefer to eat it raw.
It is beautiful. Your child is beautiful.
I mean, we are all beautiful in the eyes of the sun god.
What happens when there's a thunderstorm?
What do you mean?
Like when the sun gets obscured?
I mean, you do know that it comes back out, right?
I was just playing with your mind.
No, I mean, if anything, if it happens a lot, probably people are just not burning enough of their enemies' hearts.
Oh, okay, that I can get behind.
There is a certain amount of rain to be expected. That is weather, I believe it is called. But if it happens for a really long time, or a particularly nasty rain, you need to look into burning some hearts.
Burning hearts is good. I like them with marshmallows.
No, you don't.
I really want to see Z-Pill's reaction to a solar eclipse. If
You know, interesting fact about Exandria, there are 2 moons. One is closer than the other. It makes werewolves very interesting.
you could be a double werewolf.
Basically.
It used to be like in D&D, if a werewolf bit you, you assumed the alignment of the werebeast that bit you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's the case anymore, but I always thought it was like, if somebody that was a werewolf that bit you was chaotic good, you just like turn into a werewolf and you're just like, I gotta clean up the forest. But
That's good. I mean, they just become like an eco-terrorist. It'll be. Okay, so the rest of you back together. The information that you were given about Azatur Kaiwan was just a couple notes were made throughout history, specifically near the end of the Age of Arcanum during the Calamity, the war between the prime deities and the betrayer gods, and all of civilization was almost wiped out during this. But Azatur Kaiwan was known as a fairly great mage who had become fairly obsessed with the mage who eventually became known as the Raven Queen when she ascended and basically took the place of the god of death at that point. At one point was known for special costume parties, had a special mask that he would wear, and disappeared sometime around, as far as is known, disappeared sometime around the banishment of the Chained Oblivion. So that part goes along with at least what you were told by him. So, with that in mind, where do y'all want to go? You've taken care of your pressing business here in Vasselheim, and you have the world in front of you. You would probably need to teleport somewhere as near as possible to the marshlands you're looking for, and then travel. Based on what you know, that would probably be Singorn, the elven capital, where Usu is kind of based out of at the moment. And where you had all met, actually, where you had met Zippel.
I mean, let us, if that is the will of the party, we will go there. Are we taking the metal child? I would prefer to leave them here. What is the will of the party?
Well, Metal Child, who looks glorious, by the way, is now fully ambulatory and, good to go, right? Like, he's powered on this whole time.
Yes. Oh, Metal Child, I am very sorry. What do you think of the embellishments?
Has he seen a mirror?
Oh yes, he's seen a mirror, and in fact, he's kind of like where they are on the around the shoulders and chest, kind of using their right hand to kind of trace some of the gold work and things, and just looks up at Zippel and nods. Like, seems fairly happy with it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. We're not finished yet. The rest is a surprise.
Okay, so what do y'all want to do?
I guess we can. I guess next stop is Black Dragon Marsh.
Did Dream see?
Huh? Yep. What?
Sounds good to me.
What were you saying, Sean?
Now, I was thinking if the metal child is staying here, should we take the gem with us?
Is it saying?
Oh, like take its batteries out?
Yeah.
It's not coming with us?
I think we
Um,
should.
Zepiel said that he prefers the metal child to stay there, but he's kind of an overprotective parent.
Yeah. I mean, how about let the kid decide?
Always a good idea.
I mean, we call it a child, but it's old, right?
Yeah, this thing is like at least 800 years old.
Yeah. This is a grown ass man. Metal man.
Now, you have no idea how long it was unpowered for. But, yeah. How do you want to decide?
Metal Child, would you like to accompany us?
They nod. They've been listening the whole time, the head kind of clicking back and forth as each one speaks. But as you ask, they nod at you.
Do you promise to stay out of danger?
They nod again, a little slower this time.
It would appear that I am outvoted.
As you're kind of looking downcast, the automaton takes its right hand, its only hand at the moment, and puts it on your shoulder and kind of pats you.
Did
You
I
were-
notice if the
No, go
go
ahead.
on?
No, go on.
Did I notice if the automaton had its fingers crossed behind its back?
Make a perception check.
All right, that would be a. Oh, I can't read. All right, that was an 18.
An 18. Yeah, it totally crosses fingers behind its back. But you know, Zippel didn't see this.
You are a dutiful offspring, Metal Child. I will teach you Draconic on our journey. Do you speak Draconic, you Metal Child?
It shakes its head.
You will learn it.
All right. So, packing everything up, getting everything ready, kind of gathering your goods and things. Chomp, are you gonna get out your chalks and draw your circle?
Yeah, so we know of a permanent circle that is, I guess, closer to our destination.
The closest one you know of to your destination, I mean, there's two that are within. Neither of the ones that you think of are real close, but the two that you think of first are Singorn, the capital of the elves, which is just over a mountain range from where you're trying to go. And then east from that and over towards the coast is Stilben, the small shipping city where the it was a temple of the Platinum Dragon there that you know has a circle. But that would mean heading down the coast and also over some mountains and through marshes. Well, from Singorn, it would be just over the mountains and into the marsh you're looking for.
That sounds better.
Yeah, I guess.
Singhorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Singorn.
All right. Okay, anything else anybody wants to do in Vasselheim before you leave the city for a while?
Did you want to have an arm?
Well, yeah, I just thought of a way to quickly get a new arm for the metal child.
Oh, how's that?
So I just on this last level up learned the fabricate spell, and normally you can't use it to create items that require a high degree of craftsmanship unless you're proficient with the type of artisan tools used to craft such objects.
Okay.
So me being proficient with the tinkerer's tools and able to create clockwork devices, I thought that with the raw materials of some scrap metal or whatever, I could cast fabricate on it and make an arm.
Okay. Let me see here.
Maybe not one that has like a flamethrower and screwdriver attachments like the old one did, but a functional arm.
Okay, so I'm gonna say because you'd need to find the raw materials for this. So where are you gonna get the raw materials?
What is Metal Child made of?
I have like at least 10 feet of gold wire still, if that helps at all.
Sweet.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah. Well,
What?
it's corrosion resistant. I mean, yeah, go.
I don't think that's enough to make a whole arm, but we'll throw that in the mix.
All right. Make an investigation check to see what you can find around, just around the this district of the city.
Investigation. 12.
12. Okay. I mean, it takes a while. You're able to find some basic steel ingots. The Metal Child is made mainly of brass, some copper. It looks like there's some parts that are made of stone, and there is some steel in there, but mostly brass and copper are the metals being used. Around town, you find some basic steel ingots, as well of course, some fairly nice wood, some hardwood, a little bit of copper, but not much. It seems that most of the brass in town is maybe made somewhere else, but it's not anywhere in this district.
Well, those all sound like fairly good materials. Because it does say that the quality of the object is going to relate to the quality of the raw materials.
Yeah.
So, luckily, we're able to find some ingots and stuff. Because I mean, I was thinking if worst came to worst, we could just use scrap, rusty, paper clips and just whatever crap is laying around. But that would make a very good arm. So this will be nice. This will be nice.
Yeah, and so you were able to find some good stuff. It's not going to match, and it's a little bit heavier, it seems like, in weight than the stuff that he's already made of. But you're able to, given maybe a day or so, craft a working clockwork metal arm that, while it doesn't have the same functionality that the original arm had, it has, it's able to move, and it can flex each finger, and it can move its wrist and elbow and shoulder, and as you attach it and the Metal Child kind of moves it around, it kind of nods a little bit and shrugs. And it is odd looking because now this beautifully carved brass and copper and stone body, for the most part, with this intricate kind of inlays, now in gold, and also different runes and stuff etched into the surface of the brass. And now there's this kind of dull gray iron arm, with some wood elements in it as well. That works, but is definitely different on the left side. But it works.
Yes, Chomp being, not one for aesthetics and all about utilitarian, pragmatic things, is very proud of his arm, and you're welcome.
I am very grateful for you and restoring the mobility of the metal child. I am glad that I gave you the book.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. So, anything else anybody wants to do, or are we doing a circle? No? Bueller? Okay. In that case. Chomp, drawing the runes on the ground, checking your notes to make sure you get the Singorn runes right. It takes about 10-ish minutes. And as you finish almost about to finish the last one, you say, everybody ready? And making the last strike of chalk on the floor of the room here, it lights up, seeming to kind of almost float slightly above the floor as all the runes glow with this brilliant light blue light. And as all of you, one by one, within a few seconds together, just kind of step in, you're once again this familiar feeling of being kind of sucked forward from the navel kind of section. This almost slightly queasy feeling happening as you seem to go an unimaginable distance, and suddenly you almost black out and come back to consciousness, stumbling in a similar stone room to the one you had seen recently under that door, but slightly more ornate and with burning torches around on the wall. And immediately a small magical kind of flashing light starts happening in the room, and you hear running footsteps from outside.
Oops.
Oh yeah, you know what? I thought about it earlier and then forgot when we were drawing the circle.
Oops.
We were supposed to call ahead to schedule our trip.
Do we just walk out the door then? Is that what we do now? I have not traveled by this way as many as you have.
In about at this time,
Well, you'll see.
the door kind of bursts open, and several of the magical guardsmen in silver and green and black elves kind of run in, kind of drawing up short as they see the group of you say, What goes here? Well, who goes here? What is the meaning of this?
I am Zipil, born of the noble fire. Greetings to you in the name of the sun god. And these are my compatriots.
And they,
Somebody hold up that coin, or didn't we have something from here that we were supposed to use?
Yeah.
I have some stuff in my bag of holding. Maybe.
I believe one of you had Usu's coin.
Yeah, somebody
I
hold
have
up.
the coin of communication.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, we're with Usu.
And they kind of relax a little bit, and that obviously the one that is the head guard kind of gestures to one who runs out. And a few minutes later, the familiar gray robes and tall form of Usu, with his long kind of white and gray beard and bald head, comes into the room, sees the five of you, and sighs, "Well, it's good to see you all again. I'm assuming you've found at least some of what you needed."
We got this scale.
Excellent.
I got this arm. Look at my arm.
Yeah, things are going great.
I see that. What happened? You know what? No, come with me. We'll go to my study. Just quickly. I'd like to debrief you.
All right.
All right. Going up to his study once again. In one of the towers of Urek here, you find the familiar accommodations that he seems to stay in that are one whole wedge of the tower, so it's almost in kind of a pie wedge of a room with a nicely crackling, burning fire. It's nice and warm, even though it is. You looking out the window, you can see it. It's overcast and cool outside. The leaves of Singorn on the trees here never fall, although they have changed for the season and are now this golden and orange different colors, very vibrant, but still on the trees, even in the midst of the winter here. And as you come into the room, Usu says, "Please have a seat. What happened to your arm, and why is there the metal one with you?" Would anybody like to explain?
I'll let Crom.
Yep, I was doing our job and stuff, and it was awesome. And okay, I was in that thing with the water, the tears of my own, and I fell in, or I was told in, and then there was this battle thing happening, and then I got a cool sword, and then we found this thing, and I got a new arm. Yep.
That's all very vague. Thank you for that. Well, I think I got some of that. And the metal one here, where did they come from?
Oh, I can show her my tattoo. Our tattoos. We have tattoos.
Oh, you
We have yours.
Yeah, we're down to IU now.
Yep, we got rid of that other thing.
That's good to hear. I was worried about that. And Zibbo, it's good to see you again.
Yes. Greetings to you.
That's where we got him from last night.
Oh yeah.
It has been a trial.
Yeah, he loves us.
The large one took the arm off the metal child, but the book one was very nice to make a new one. And it has been a trial. I will not lie to you.
Oh, that's, well, these are growing experiences, which is half of why I sent you with them.
And the other half?
Well, you wanted to know more about your god, and Vasselheim is a good place to do that.
I heard it was because you wished to be rid of me. Is a joke.
Well, and the rest of you, Roland, it's good to see you again. I do hear that your hometown has been seeing some tough times down in the southern part of the forest.
In what way?
Well, when the Iron Authority and the Hobgoblins moved through, there were raids that happened, and we've lost communication with much of the coast there, as well as, it seems, much of Taldore at this point. We have not heard from Iman, in fact, since only a few days after you all left, several weeks ago. We're not sure what's going on with the war at this point, and much of the city, if you go out in it, you will find is marshaling our forces. Not sure what's going on out there in these days.
Not sure. But for a bunch of mages, y'all sure are uninformed.
We're trying. To be fair, much
Yeah.
of what goes on is from the council and the school there and in Iman, and without that information, we're not totally cut off, but much of our information is cut off.
You don't have a crystal ball?
Well, I mean, we do, but not for that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
In any case, I assume you are continuing on your quest.
No, we quit.
No, yeah,
We
that's
quit. It's too hard. We quit.
nope. That's why we're here. We're just passing through on to the next step.
All right. Well, as always, if you feel like resting, you may stay here for as long as you need. And the run of the city is at your disposal should you need to find anything.
Has there been any word on my, has there been any word on my direct family?
The Acmeres, House Thurani, correct?
Yes.
We have not heard much from that part of the, as I said, that part of the forest, the southwestern part of Singorn. We've been waiting for word. I assume, had there been a large incident, we would have heard by now.
Thank you.
But in any case, please fill me in as you complete more of this. We have heard rumblings that other parts of other cults of the Chained Oblivion have been popping up here and there, and we are worried that there will be a breakout. So the work you're doing is important. Let me tell you that. In any case,
Yeah.
you're free to go. Like I said, check back in with me after your next leg.
All right.
All right.
So,
Off to see the wizard.
oh, black dragons. Surthis, do you have the water breathing spell, or do you have a water breathing amulet or something?
I thought he cast that on us sometime.
Yeah.
I cast that on us every morning. Or whatever.
Okay. So that
That will help.
that might come in handy since we're going against
Yeah.
semi-aquatic thing. And we know that it has acid breath. I don't know if we have person resistant armor. I don't know.
I don't know.
Head what way? Towards the marsh?
All right.
I'm just trying to think of anything that
guess.
any kind of black dragon specific supplies we might need to pick up before we go.
Turns out I also have water walk, but let me see how long that lasts.
I mean, that's useful.
Less an hour.
Okay. It's good to be a sorcerer sometimes. All right. Well, if nobody has anything they want to do in Singorn while you all are here, we can move on to your journey.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
All right. So heading out of the city this time, as opposed to the last time you had come into the city, which was from the west side, heading out of the east side, directly on the edge of the mountains, the huge mountain range here that runs through. Who wants to take point for kind of navigating over the range here?
I'll volunteer
Okay.
on the chance that it's something that I've already, a way I've already gone through.
I mean, you did come over these mountains previously from your homeland to find Singorn and somebody who might be able to help you. So, yeah. So the DC may be lower.
Yeah, so I'll do that. Little boy.
All right.
I assume you want me to roll something?
Yes. Could you roll a survival check for guiding the party?
There's a 3 plus 9 is 12.
3 plus 9 is 12. All right. So on your first day out, it's once again overcast, a little bit of freezing rain occasionally coming down. And you are pretty sure you are guiding fairly well. You don't especially like the mountains or the cold, for that matter. And as you get higher up, it does get colder. You make pretty good time this day. And setting up camp for the night. Yeah. Anybody want to take a look out at night? Or... Because I'm assuming we're using the...
I will
what's it
again.
called? Okay.
I'll take middle watch.
We're sorry.
Our dog's like working his face. Okay, move dog.
Oh. Okay, so taking some watches throughout the night. Ooh, gosh. Encounters. Yeah. So, who said there? So, Zipple
I
taking
will.
first watch? Yeah. So during your
Yeah.
first watch,
And I'm always watching.
yeah, and you're always watching. During first watch in the dome, much like your encounter after the Dragon's Lair, as this time instead of snow, freezing, blowing rain, kind of blowing throughout the wooded incline that you've camped on, you see a figure coming out of the haze of the weather. This time, not that same kind of dingy, mustard-colored robes, but instead, a fairly bright purple robe. And as they come closer, you see underneath a nice green breeches, looks like leather breeches, and a white blouse. And as they come even nearer, Roland, I'm going to say you're on watch at the moment. You recognize someone you haven't seen in a long while here, the familiar face of Vesta.
Oh, good.
Who you haven't seen, in a while.
Yeah.
And as she comes up, she says, "Darlings, may I come in?"
Of course.
Thank you. And she comes in, taking down her cloak hood as she sits down. Strangely, she doesn't seem to be wet at all, even though she just walked in from the freezing rain. And she settles in and says, "Well, I see you've lost a few, but you've gained one. Who are you?" Pointing over at you, Zippo.
Am I awake? Because you said she was on watch.
Well, at this point, hearing and speaking, the rest of you have kind of started to wake up. And you, coming awake, and Cirthus, you didn't need to come awake, but you all see the familiar form of Vesta walking into the dome and sitting down with you.
I'm gonna look at everybody and see how they are reacting.
Okay.
But if they seem nonplussed, then I will introduce myself.
Okay. Crom and Chomp, how do you react upon seeing Vesta?
I'm sleepy. I rub my eyes and I say, "Sup."
I look unimpressed,
Okay.
but not like totally negative. Just kind of like, oh yeah, Vesta.
All right. There's your answer, Zipple.
My name is Zepiel. I am a traveling companion of these. And I am born of the noble fire. Who a place to be are you?
Oh, it's good to hear. Well, I am Vesta, the goddess of hearth and home. Nice to meet you, I think.
She uses the term goddess loosely.
Well, I would have you know that my followers have grown in numbers since we last met. I can do. I've gained much more power since then, and I expect to ascend any time now. So back off.
That was a nice rolling pin you gave us.
I'm sorry. How do you know these people?
I saved their bacons from the fire at least once.
And what perhaps tenuous claim to godhood do you have?
I'm much older than any of you, and there are those who worship me. In fact, a former member of this party.
The judgment of the members of this party is not, I think, anything to go off. But could I get you something to eat, I guess?
That's okay. I'm perfectly capable of, and as she holds up her hand, it seems to have a steaming goblet of something in it suddenly. I'm perfectly capable of providing for myself.
Okay, I was just being polite anyway.
Well, what brings you here?
Vesta, do you have any word of my family? You're a goddess after all. You have knowledge.
Are they, where are they from again?
Thrain?
Oh, yes. I mean, I do have followers in that region now. That I know of, they are fine. I knew there was some trouble over there, but nothing too big.
Thank you.
No problem. But what brings you here?
We're passing through. Oh, we're still in the mountains, right? This is
Yes.
like kind of in a mountain area.
Yeah, you're in the mountains right now.
Yeah, we're crossing these mountains on the way to
Swamp.
the marsh swamp.
Swamp March.
Yep.
Dragon.
All right.
On our way to defeat a black dragon.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I wish you luck with that. I was just wanted to check in, as I do from time to time. You are some of my favorites, even if you don't follow me. And yes, you tell me like it is, and that's nice occasionally. It gets lonely as a goddess.
Is it because you have very few followers?
Well, I actually have quite a few, and I can't rightfully hang out with my followers. There has to be.
You can hang out with me.
There has to be some remove. In any case, thank you for being here. Also, I had heard that you are questing now something about Theris Dune.
Yep.
Yep.
And,
Gotta lock him up.
Lock that bitch up.
and I must say that I'm not a fan of him, them, it, whatever that might be. In any case, and I would just like to throw out there, if you ever need help, I'm available to help. Should you need it? I mean,
Yeah. Eventually, we will need help, probably with a red dragon. I think we can handle the black dragon, but there is a red dragon we kind of like said that we would take care of, but it's real powerful, and that would be cool if you could help us with that later.
But I mean, we'll take hope with black dragons.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
The boons here, we love boons.
I like booms. We need anti-acid.
Well, I don't know that I could give you that, but I could maybe help in the moment. In any case, I just want to make clear though that this is when you actually need help, not necessarily just any time. I just
How do we get in
because-
touch with you?
Well, I have been trying to cultivate kind of an aura of myself, and of course, there's a brand I have to think about. And so, as she reaches into her robe or cloak, she takes out what looks like a golden spatula, and hands it to the closest one of you. I'm going to guess that's going to be Roland. And says,
Thank you.
Just use this. You call upon me using this, and in your moment of need, and I will do what I can.
Thank you. I will add it to our belongings.
Just wanted to throw that out there. I know, but I'm going to be honest. I miss all of you, and
That's so sweet. I'm gonna give her a hug. Very, very bear hug.
all right. And as you sitting down, manage to still pick her up. You being the only one in the party here that is actually taller than her, she says, "Well, thank you. That's quite sweet of you." Anyway, well, this is awkward now. You know what? I will see you all. And as she kind of snaps her fingers, she's suddenly gone, and kind of a slight poof of steam, and you smell the smell of fresh baked bread suddenly, and she is gone.
I hate to see her go, but I love to smell her disappear.
Yeah.
Are they to be trusted?
Yeah. Probably.
We can trust Vestica.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
More or less. Anyway, you are undisturbed, however, through the rest of the night.
Am I still awake?
If you want to be.
I would like to see if I can wait until Crom falls asleep and finish embellishing the metal child's arm.
Oh, like the new arm? Yeah, you can definitely do
No,
that.
the old one that they took. The one that's currently attached to them.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, make a sleight of hand check.
$11.
11. Crom, make a perception check at disadvantage.
Wait. Plus 6. 21.
Oh gosh. So yeah. Crom, at one point, after falling asleep, you suddenly jerk awake, feeling some kind of tugging on your left arm, and you see Zipple standing there with a spool of gold thread in one hand and a small hammer in the other, and he has just started to inlay some of it onto your metal arm.
Go back to sleep.
I'm gonna say that tickles. I was like, you could have asked. I will let you do it because I think it looks cool.
Okay, well,
Just ask next time.
just go back to sleep.
All right. It's always good to ask. Yes.
Yeah. So okay.
Next time I will ask.
All right. There you go. Thank you.
Consent is important. All right. Anyway, moving into the next. Oh, how long is this trip? I always forget. It's going to take at least 3 days of travel through the mountains. As you come over the mountains, on about halfway through your third day, you see below you a large kind of V-shaped valley that seems to your left it narrows, to your right it widens and broadens out into the haze. The middle of the valley seems to have low fog and or clouds covering it, with parts of it with thunderheads and higher clouds over even that. And you immediately, as a gust of wind comes up to you, you catch this scent of decay, but also of growing things and moisture and who knows what else comes up. To some of you, it's quite overwhelming and kind of off-putting at first. Zippel, though, you smell the scent of home.
Welcome to the Dreamseep Marsh. This is home.
And yes, coming down into the Dreamseep, as you head down the mountains, it slowly becomes more and more evident that it is warmer on this side of the mountains. At least some of that fog is created by, it seems, hot springs at different points, even on the sides of the mountains, but also as you finally get down into the valley, you find a lot of the water you come across is at least warm. And as the temperature rises, you have to shed the coats that you had first bought to go to Vasselheim, until you are left with your regular gear on. No coats, no winter gear whatsoever. You see Zippel very much more calm and in his element, and as he takes his coats off, just kind of shaking out his shoulders and wagging his tail. And
Do I?
oh yeah, sure. Do you?
Okay. Do I have to roll for that?
No. I mean, you see Zippel just more comfortable. I was just given though.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And yes, over the course of the last few hours of the day, in the murkiness and overcastness of the swamp, you kind of pick your way through. It being a little bit familiar to you, the rest of you, this is an odd place. It's somehow more wet than where you grew up, Roland, and definitely uncomfortable compared to where you grew up, Crom. And Chomp, there's at least once or twice where you kind of splashing through into a puddle almost like fall above your head into sudden deep water.
Well, you've got to be careful of that.
Yes, it's quite crazy out here.
Gotta be careful out in the bayou.
Out in the bayou.
I don't know. I could cast that water walking, but we'd have to redo it every hour so that we can move through this a little easier.
True. Oh gosh, sorry, I'm trying to find the right map here. There's the map. Well, yeah, if you wanted to. I mean, it just takes some good pathfinding. There are paths through here. Okay, come on. There we go. Eventually, though, you find your way coming near the end of this day, as it's already dark under the canopy, as these huge trees with moss coming off of them in a lot of places, vines growing up, the sounds of strange animals coming from both far and near, birds you've never heard before flying and calling through the treetops. It's a strange place, but eventually you see light coming through the trees. And coming closer, you see what looks like lanterns. And coming even closer, you see homes that built on stilts. Their front porches also built on stilts with stairs coming down into a kind of boardwalk roads in this small village. And as you come into it, you find you are in the town of Brunbog. Zippel, you would know this to be the only real sign of civilization within the swamp. And coming to the center of town, seeing the old monument there with these large monoliths of stone kind of in a circle, sinking into the swampy ground. That's, I think, where we're going to end today's, because I need to build out more of this. So, what time is it? Oh, it's 4:40. Okay. We're not doing bad. Yeah,
Cool.
that's where we're
Sounds
going to end
good.
today.
Good game.
Awesome.
Yay!
Thanks, y'all. It was fun. Is 2 weeks from now good for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you have a 26 at a disadvantage? Like, what is your like perception?
I rolled a 16 and I think an 18 or something like that. And I think I have like a +6 or +5.
Next time, Gadget.
Next
Yeah.
time. But I mean, at this point, Crom does have a left arm that is all brass and metal with all the cool stuff, but also now with gold, like filigree all over it, and scroll work, and there's some quite nice stuff.
Thank you.
Fancy.
All right. So everybody's good with 2 weeks?
Should be
Awesome. If anybody has
Yep.
any questions about anything, let me know. Actually, could everybody email me their mailing address?
okay.
Yeah. Everybody
Yes.
send me your mailing address.
Gotcha.
No special reason, just need your mailing address. I promise
Got it.
I won't sign you all up for like a magazine subscription. Don't worry.
Okay.
No,
just
no stalking.
No stalking. Yes. That's what I was planning on. You found me out.
Okay. Bye, you guys.
All right. Thanks, y'all.
Bye. Good
All
game.
right.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks again.